The rain wouldn't stop that night. It came down like the sky itself had cracked open, washing over the small tired buildings of Ridgeview Heights. Inside apartment 3B, Travis Bennett was fighting another kind of storm. Unpaid bills stacked on the kitchen counter, a cracked phone screen glowing with another final notice message, and a feverish 7-year-old sleeping fitfully on the couch. He'd promised Owen that everything would be okay, that Daddy would fix it like he always did. But tonight even he didn't believe it. He was a single dad, not by choice but by circumstance. His wife Claire had passed away 3 years ago after a sudden illness, leaving behind a little boy who still asked at night when Mommy was coming home. Since then, Travis had been holding his world together with duct tape and determination, working 3 jobs and sleeping 4 hours a night. Life was a cycle of exhaustion, yet somewhere inside, he held onto a quiet belief that kindness, in some strange way, always found its way back. Before we dive deeper, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the beauty of unexpected love, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It helps more people see stories that remind us there's still good left in the world. That Friday night, around 11 p.m., his phone buzzed. It was a call from the maintenance company he freelanced for. A burst pipe on the 52nd floor of Holloway Tower, the most expensive penthouse in the city. The job paid double for emergency calls. He didn't hesitate. Throwing on his jacket, he kissed Owen's forehead, whispered he'd be back soon, and drove through the rain-soaked streets in his rusted pickup. When the elevator doors opened to the penthouse, the contrast nearly made him laugh. Marble floors, glass walls, a skyline view that looked like a dream. And in the middle of it stood Carolyn Holloway, CEO of Holloway Group, one of the most powerful women in the country. Her silk robe was soaked, her hair clung to her face, and her bare feet left faint prints on the floor. She looked like someone who hadn't been touched by real life in a long time. Travis got to work in silence, patching the copper line beneath the marble sink while she stood nearby, staring out the window. When he finally looked up, he noticed her hands shaking as she tried to hold a cup of tea. Her ring finger was bare. The tabloids had said her husband left her last year, something about betrayal, company shares, and scandal. But what struck Travis wasn't her status or money, it was how lonely she looked. Trying to lighten the moment, he grinned and said, "If you're tired of all this space, you could always move in with me. Got a 2-bedroom palace with a view of a broken parking lot." To his surprise, she laughed. It was quiet, real, like she hadn't used that part of her voice in a long time. "I'll think about it," she said softly. Then she thanked him, paid him more than double his rate, and he left, and certain he'd never see her again. But the next morning at 8 a.m., someone knocked on his door. Travis opened it, and there she was, Carolyn Holloway, standing in the rain with a designer suitcase, her hair pulled back, her eyes tired but determined. She gave a small, almost shy smile. "I hope there's room," she said. For a moment, Travis thought he was dreaming. Then Owen's sleepy voice came from behind him. "Dad, who's that lady?" And that's how it began, not with romance but with chaos. At first it was awkward. Carolyn, used to penthouse breakfasts and private chefs, tried making pancakes and nearly set the pan on fire. Owen laughed so hard he spilled orange juice everywhere. She didn't get angry. She laughed too, and that laugh filled the small kitchen like sunlight. She offered to pay rent, but Travis refused. "You're a guest," he said. "Besides, I don't take charity." So instead, she started helping in quiet ways, picking Owen up from school when Travis worked late, cleaning dishes, fixing the old curtains that hadn't closed properly in years. Slowly, the walls between them began to crumble. Travis saw the woman behind the headlines, someone who'd spent her life chasing success, only to find it didn't fill the emptiness inside. Carolyn saw the man the world overlooked, someone who had nothing but gave everything anyway. But life has a way of testing what's real. A week later, photos surfaced online. Billionaire CEO spotted living with blue-collar worker. The world turned cruel overnight. Carolyn's board called an emergency meeting, accusing her of losing her mind, risking the company's reputation. Reporters camped outside the building. Travis begged her to go back to protect herself, but she refused. "They can have their skyscrapers," she said. "I've spent my whole life looking down from them. I'd rather be here, looking eye to eye with someone who actually sees me." Still, the pressure grew unbearable. One night after putting Owen to bed, Travis found Carolyn sitting on the balcony, staring into the dark city. "Maybe you were right," she whispered. "Maybe I don't belong here." He sat beside her, the rain beginning to fall again, just like the night they met. "Carolyn," he said quietly, "you don't belong in a tower. You belong wherever you're loved. And you are right here." Tears glimmered in her eyes as she leaned her head on his shoulder. It wasn't a confession or a promise, just two broken people finally finding stillness. Then something extraordinary happened. Carolyn quit her CEO position. The media went wild, but she didn't care. She used her wealth to open a foundation helping single parents, giving them access to housing, childcare and support that Travis once dreamed of having. She named it the Claire Project, in honor of Travis's late wife. At the opening ceremony, Travis stood in the crowd holding Owen's hand, tears stinging his eyes. The woman at the podium wasn't the unreachable CEO he'd met that rainy night. She was someone reborn, someone who'd chosen heart over power. After the event, she came down the steps and smiled at him. "You said it once, remember? About moving in?" Travis laughed through the lump in his throat. "Yeah, I didn't think you'd take it seriously." She stepped closer, her voice soft. "Well, I did. Because for the first time, I found a place that feels like home." From that day on, their small apartment became something more, a place of laughter, love, and second chances. Owen adored her. The neighbors talked. And life, though far from perfect, felt beautifully real. Months passed. The rain returned, as it always did, tapping gently on the windows one quiet evening. Travis stood in the doorway, watching Carolyn read to Owen on the couch. Her laughter mingled with the sound of rain, and he realized something. This moment was everything he'd been fighting for. He whispered to himself, "I guess there was room after all."